3 missing Wenatchee girls were found dead at the Rock Island campground near Leavenworth. We have the latest from the investigation.
We're talking a very summer-like forecast. Temperatures on the rise. We hit 90 this weekend.
The community of Northport is grieving after their school superintendent unexpectedly passed away. We have more on the community's efforts to stand strong.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Tonight we are tracking tragic news out of Chelan County. The 3 girls who went missing in Wenatchee last Friday were found dead yesterday near the Rock Island campground near Leavenworth. Right now authorities are trying to track down their father, who's wanted for 3 counts of murder and kidnapping. Authorities issued an endangered missing person alert for the girls on Saturday after they say the 3 sisters were not returned following a planned visit with their dad. Tonight, law enforcement is asking for your help finding this man, 32-year-old Travis Decker. If you know where he is, you're asked to call 911. In an effort to bring you more to every story tonight following this case, one of the big questions is, why did it take so long before any alert was issued? KREM 2's Christian Garza is live in the newsroom tonight with more on what Washington State Patrol takes into consideration before sending out an alert. Christian?
Yeah, Mark. Well, the answer is simple. Amber Alerts are a federal program with criteria set through the Department of Justice, meaning when a report comes through, if it doesn't meet that set criteria, then the state's hands are tied. Now, just hours ago, Washington State Patrol walked me through the 5 criteria required before an Amber Alert is sent. Of the 5, Chris Loftus, the Director of Public Affairs, says for this case specifically, it failed to meet 2 of those criteria. The first was reason to believe an abduction had occurred, and the second one was known danger of bodily harm or death.
Great evil befell these little girls, and so anyone who assumed differently was in error. But we had no reason to assume differently. And if we start assuming that every time a custodial parent is late bringing a child home that there's an abduction or there's possible homicide afoot, we're going to be sounding so many alerts that they become noise very quickly and they don't become the signal that we needed them to be.
Loftus says all these reports across the state go through the Missing and Unidentified Persons Unit to see if it meets the criteria before it was escalated to an Amber Alert. A day after the initial Amber Alert request, WSP issued the Endangered Missing Persons Alert, or EMPA, which acts as a catch-all alert for anyone who can't help themselves. The main difference between the Amber Alert and EMPA is that the EMPA won't send those ringing mass notifications. Loftus says so far this year, there have been 3 Amber Alerts and 16 EMPAs. Now, the manhunt for the girl's father, Travis Decker, is still underway. We'll be sure to update you when more information becomes available. In the newsroom, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Christian, thank you very much. As the search for Decker continues, Sebastian Robertson with our Seattle sister station will report from the scene with the latest on the investigation. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Emergency management officials in the Northwest are concerned that federal layoffs at the forecasting offices could make the wildfire season especially challenging. More than 800 NOAA employees nationwide were fired in February, then rehired, only to be terminated again. During peak wildfire season, there's close collaboration between federal partners like the NWS, the Forest Service, and local fire agencies. Crews have the Hatway fire near Lewiston fully contained right now. That update from IDL came in late last night. In all, that fire burned about 250 acres and a small outbuilding. No homes, though, were burned. Investigators are still working to figure out what sparked the fire. And you can download our KREM 2 Plus app for Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legou's extensive coverage of the wildfire forecast this summer. Download KREM 2 Plus on your TV and start watching for free. On that note, let's get outside right now to check in with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legou on this beautiful Tuesday evening. Jeremy, the weather, it just seems this week will keep getting nicer.
It's crazy how much nicer we get each and every day. And believe it or not, today goes into the books a little bit nicer than yesterday. About 2 degrees nicer officially. And I know it came with a little more cloud cover. That cloud cover saved us from being hot. Currently near 70 in eastern Washington, but above it. Near 70 but below it across much of North Idaho. Near 80 out in central Washington, and those temperatures are going to spread their way to the east. All those 80s out there are making their way toward us as we get rid of some of this cloud cover. A few light raindrops coming down in parts of North Idaho. Most of those not really hitting anyone unless you're up near Bonner's Ferry, maybe just outside of Sandpoint. You zoom out and you see where we are. There's a big swath of dry air over British Columbia. That's going to move down into the inland northwest, and our temperatures just climb. Tomorrow morning will be a few degrees warmer than where we were this morning. Mid to upper 40s. To put it in perspective, tomorrow afternoon, we wind up a few degrees warmer than where we were this afternoon. Temperatures climb into the mid and upper 70s. Out in central Washington, that's near 80 degrees. And we just keep climbing. 81 on Thursday, 84 on Friday, near 90 degrees this weekend. Mark?
Sounds good to me. Thank you very much, Jeremy. New at 5 today, a small community is rallying together after a devastating incident. Northport School District announcing on Facebook their superintendent has passed away. Today, KREM 2's Regan Gallo went to Colville to learn more about how a local business is trying to support a grieving community.
What was supposed to be a fun weekend of the beach and baseball turned tragic with reportedly 2 lives lost. And now a local business in Colville called Stitch and Ink Studio is trying to show their support for the impacted community. Northport School District announced the passing of superintendent and baseball coach Don Barable a week after reports from several media outlets like the Seattle Times say the high school baseball team traveled to Long Beach, Washington for a scheduled game. During the team's stay in Long Beach, the U.S. Coast Guard reported a 15-year-old student, Noah Heberling, went missing in the water, and eventually the search was suspended. The superintendent was one of the 2 individuals who tried to rescue the student. The Coast Guard reports hypothermia may have been involved. Now, t-shirts are being made in honor of the Northport community. Owners of Stitch and Ink Studios say the former owners of their business made the Northport athletic uniforms for several years. Now they want to show their support and raise as much money as possible for the impacted families.
Incorporated the baseball threads just because it hit so close to the baseball community, and just put the Mustang in there as their mascot. So we created put it on a soft Port and Company tee, and so we just wanted to make sure it's something anyone can wear and cozy up in at any time. So
it's pretty amazing that we can actually all rally together and support these families as much as we have, especially coming from such a small knit community with such a bad tragedy like this. I can't even explain it. Especially with me having children that are the same ages as all these boys, I can't.
The t-shirts are going to be $30 each, and we will have that link on our website. The fundraiser will go through next Tuesday, and the owners of Stitch and Ink Studio want to highlight Mustang Strong. I'm reporting in Colville, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
We are just getting started at 5.
People would ask the right questions, right? We didn't have any answers for them.
A first-of-its-kind database rolling out in Washington to track how often police use force, but not all law enforcement is on board just yet.
It's hard to imagine why somebody would do that.
Plus, the search is on for Wenatchee father after authorities say they found his 3 young daughters dead. We have the latest developments on the investigation right after the break.